Hey everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a talk through, get ready with me, featuring Stone Cold eyeshadow palette, which is what's on my eyes right now, as well as the Infinity Cloud blush and lipstick from Cosmetics. These are the Cosmetics products right here. This is basically the product that I'm trying to review for the month of January. Today is January 1st. It's the first time of me trying this. It's the second time of me trying this, however. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's really annoying. I'm sorry. But that's basically what I'm going to be applying on my cheeks and on my lips. And on my eyes, I'm going to be applying the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox eyeshadow palette, which is basically a cool toned neutral palette. This one. This is what I bought instead of buying the Natasha Denona Glam palette because I was too cheap and I didn't want to spend about 400 shekels on a palette, to be honest. But I'm not very happy with this. Spoiler alert, this is my third time trying it, and each time that I try to do my makeup with this, there are a few shades that I don't like. And I think that the main culprit for that, I'm just saying, is the shade Luxe, which is supposed to be like this yellow toned, like bone toned kind of color. It sucks, but the main point of this being a talk through, get ready with me, is because I want to share with you all of the details and all of the goals and all of the rules of my low buy year. This is the first time that I'm doing this. I was inspired by so many beautiful people. Hannah from Hannah Louise Boston, Haley, I don't remember what her channel is called, but she's absolutely incredible. I love her. And a dozen more people. This is not just talking about cosmetics. This is cosmetics, fashion, and everything else. So if you're curious as to how I achieved this makeup look, along with all of the things that are related to my low buy year, then keep on watching. You're about to see me barefaced in just about a few seconds, so you've been warned. 3, 2, 1, let's do it. As always, I always start with priming my eyes, and the eye primer that I'm trying to finish is from Smashbox. It is the 24-hour photo finish shadow primer. I take like the tiniest little bit, like this, and I rub it between my fingers and smear it all over my eyes. And then I asked on my Instagram which palette they wanted me to use, Stone Cold Fox or Bare Necessities. And right now they're pretty much even, which is not an easy decision for me to make. It's basically up to me because I'm not going to wait anymore. And I'm not going to check it now. That's it. I've checked it like 2 minutes ago. I'm not checking it now. I'm going to be using Stone Cold Fox from Colourpop because I already used Bare Necessities in an Instagram IGTV. So if you want to watch it, you can go there and watch it. It's not that difficult. But today we're going to do a cool toned eye look that's not too cool toned, and I'm gonna pair it with Faded Clementine from Cosmetics. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, all of my eye brushes are in here, and it's like not the most convenient thing right now, but we're gonna move past it. I don't love Stone Cold Fox. I've tried it twice already, and I haven't liked my looks both times, unfortunately, but I am trying it today with a different outlook. The reason I'm looking there is because there's a mirror. So today's video is not only gonna be me trying out this one as well as some Cosmetics. Today's video is also going to be discussing my biggest 2020 plan, or my biggest 2020 project, which is my idea of a low buy basically. I'm not on a no buy. I don't feel the need to go on a no buy, and I feel like my sense of style is still somewhat developing, that I would want to be able to spend a little bit to get there, to really figure out how I want to present myself to the world. I used the shade Luxe, and this shade is horrible. It's too white and it's kind of cool toned. It looks like it's yellow right here, but it's horrible. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you right now about my no buy, and I'm gonna use that term loosely because you'll understand once I start talking about it. So before I wrote down my rules, I wrote down two lists. A list of what my goals for this no buy is, non-financial goals, kinda, as well as a list of things that I want to change or avoid about my current self. So any traits, any characteristics that I see need to change is there. I'm going to start off with what I want to avoid. When I wrote down the list of things I want to avoid, it was just full of adjectives of how I've been shopping up to basically now. I'm still doing it. Today is January 1st. By the way, Happy New Year. I don't know if I've said that in the intro. I haven't filmed the intro yet. But Happy New Year. I hope that this year is gonna be much better than 2020, and it's not that hard for 2021 to be better than 2020. So, as I said, my list of things that I want to avoid is basically a bunch of adjectives, and we will start with the first one after I use the shade Trip. This is a very fallouty, very kickbacky palette, by the way. Okay, so the first quality that I want to change about my shopping habits is mindlessness. I feel like when I go shopping, I find something I like, I don't even think about anything. I don't think about what I already have. I don't think about if this is going to fit into my wardrobe. I don't think if this is going to fit into my personality. If it looks cute and I want it, I basically get it. And that is definitely something that needs to change. I don't want to do that anymore. I want my decisions to reflect a more sophisticated, more intellectual sense of my being. And being mindless prevents me from embracing that side. So the first thing is basically mindlessness. I don't want that anymore. I want that to change. Second thing is impulsive, and it goes hand in hand with mindless. If I'm sad, if I'm happy and I want to celebrate anything, the first thing I do is go shopping. Online shopping has been something that I do way too often, if I'm being honest. And I want that to change. There is no need for me to be shopping every single day or going on shopping sites every single day. Even if I'm not shopping, even if I'm not literally purchasing items, I am on shopping websites. And that is something that I want to change. By the way, I took the shade Enigma, which is this one right here, and I'm going to apply it on my outer crease. I want today's look to be very, very light. So, yeah, impulsive. I don't want to be impulsive. I don't want shopping to become an impulse. An impulse or a reaction to a feeling. A reaction to anger. A reaction to joy. A reaction to sadness. A reaction to every little thing. Every occasion. Shopping somehow becomes the go-to, the response to every feeling I might have, to however my mental state seems to be. What I do to express that feeling is go shopping. Find something to buy, even if I don't need anything. So I'm gonna give you an example. Last year I promised myself that I would only buy 4 bags. Or buy or receive 4 bags. I'm not willing to have more than 4 bags a year. For the last month, for the entire month of December, on a daily basis, and I wish I was exaggerating. I really wish I was exaggerating. I would go on websites and look for bags, look for the next bag to buy, and there were a few times where I was really close to pulling the trigger and actually buying them. I cannot tell you how upset I was at myself, but at the same time I found myself doing it on the daily. So the fact that I was upset didn't really help me out and let me stop that bad habit from forming. I'm gonna use the shade Quarry Days right here, because Enigma did nothing. This palette is not impressing me, I will tell you. This is the 3rd time that I'm using it and I'm still unimpressed. Anyways, so yeah, that needs to change. I don't want to be breaking my own rules that I have set for myself. I don't want shopping to become an instant reaction to anything. Shopping should not be a reaction. That's one of the things that are actually in my goals, which we'll get to later. Next quality that I want to change is not really about me, but it's about my possessions. I don't want them to be redundant. If you look at my wardrobe, if you look at my makeup collection, if you look at my bags, if you look at my shoes, if you look at my jewelry, it is all the same. I have so many pairs of jeans of different colors, but they're all the same style. And that could be because that is my favorite style. But that means that I probably didn't need 2 beige ones and 2 basically white ones and 3 black ones. I didn't need all of those things. That is where the redundancy comes. I don't mind having a lot of things of what I find useful in my wardrobe and useful for my lifestyle, but I don't need to hoard them. I don't need for them to become like something that I have too much of, because that also means that those pieces that I love and I can see myself wearing aren't getting the wear that they deserve, because they are lost in a clutter of copies. They are lost in a clutter of duplicates. They are lost in a clutter of clones of the same pairs of pants, the same eyeshadows, the same lipsticks, the same lip glosses. I had, and I think they were 5 or 6. I had 5 or 6 sheer clear lip glosses with gold sparkles. Were they different enough for me to have them? No. Do I love gold? Do I love sheer glosses with gold sparkle? Absolutely. Did I need to have all of those? No. So in turns, most of the glosses that I had didn't even get this good use, because I don't have enough lips to wear them before they would expire or before they would go bad or anything like that. Like, that was a very unfortunate thing and something that absolutely needed to change. Moving on to another quality is wasteful. I was not only wasting resources, which is money, I was also wasting time. I was also wasting space. And I was also wasting material. Things that could be used better by other people. So by me having all of the stuff that I had, I was spending all my money and not getting my money's worth because I wasn't using them enough. I was wasting material, I was wasting fabric, I was wasting powder, I was wasting whatever because I would buy them instead of someone else who would need them more than I do. And I'm not saying that there's a finite amount of jeans that I was basically wearing jeans and leaving other people bare naked or something. That wasn't the case. But this item shouldn't have been bought by me. I'm wasting this item by having it because I'm not using it. Someone else could be. And I'm spending my money on it. And that's something that I did recently. I decluttered my makeup collection. My lip declutter should be going recently. It's filmed, but it's being edited for like the past few weeks at this point. I hate editing that video. It's like horrible. Too long. Too long, and makes me feel bad because I had a lot. Anyways, I think I'm done for the matte parts of the eyes. I'm going to take the shade Sediment to Be, which is this, with my finger. It feels nice and it looks nice on my finger. And I'm going to apply it in my inner corner. And it looks good. This is the first time that I have a look that I can see myself wearing using this palette. I decluttered my makeup collection and I literally gave about at least 3,000 shekels worth of makeup to people that I can only hope would use them, but they don't have the same love of makeup that I like I do, or they don't value the products that I gave them. I gave them some really good makeup. If you've seen my declutter, you know how many beautiful blushes I had and all of that. Before I go, I want to use the shade Double Type, this one, on my outer corner, just to darken it a little bit. Yeah, I gave that away. I wasted 3,000 shekels that I could have used for a lot of other things. I was very upset at myself, but happy to be sharing things with people. But yeah, I was being wasteful. But at least I was able to give them to people that I can only hope would use them, really. Anyways, I'm gonna clean up my under eyes, come back and start working on my base, working on this face because it's not looking great. Okay, so let's start off with primer. I'm gonna use my Project Pan primer, the Smashbox Primerizer. I usually use like 2 to 3 squirts. And let's talk about the next quality that I would like to change, which is capitalist. I'm not capitalist personally, but my purchases were because I was buying from, like the Zaras and the Mangoes and from those corporations that really literally do not need any of the money that I was giving them. I don't want to be buying fast fashion anymore. I'm making an exception for denim because I don't know if I can buy denim off of Etsy. And I don't want to really buy second-hand denim unless I can see them in front of me, because denim is one of those things that I just don't buy blindly unless I know how the style looks on me. And like, for example, Let's talk about Levi, for example. I like their mile high jeans because they are skinny and really high. The waist is very high, and I like that. And I know my size because I had one of these in the past. Same goes to I also like their balloons. I don't have one because what can I say? I cheaped out of buying a pair of balloons when I was in Germany last year. Although I found a pair and they looked beautiful on, and I love the style. I love mom jeans in general, and the balloons are really beautiful. And I know which size works on me. I have lost weight this year, but I have belts and things like that, and the smallest size doesn't get any smaller. And that's the one that I tried in Germany a long time ago. Not really a long time ago. It was like literally 12 months ago. So although I love these things and I know that they fit me, I don't really want to buy them online because I know that my size and my shape has changed. I've shrunk this year. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a comfort eater. I don't eat when I'm upset, and I don't eat when I'm happy. I don't eat when I'm feeling certain things. I am a comfort shopper, but I am not a comfort eater. I would rather just go online and look at websites instead of eating. I basically stop eating when I'm feeling stressed or when I'm feeling anxious. Like those feelings don't trigger hunger in me or the desire to eat. They suppress it. I suddenly lose my appetite and all of that. And that's unfortunate because I'm underweight right now, I think. I probably might be underweight by a little bit, but not by much. And I know that I have control over the fact that I'm underweight. I'm not underweight because I have a body condition or because I am ill or anything like that. I'm underweight simply because I don't eat. And I can change that. That is something that is up to me to change, and I'm not really doing it. But that's a topic for a different story. I don't want to spend my money on businesses like Zara, Mango, and places that treat people unkindly. Their business practices, their fast fashion modos. I don't want to have to do that. Also, in all honesty, I live in Israel, and the brands that are really cheap abroad in the US and other places are really expensive in here. Let's face it, Zara abroad, you can get a pair of pants for maybe like $30, not $3 of course, maybe like $30 or something like that. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Let's say $50. Here it would be at least $75, or the same pair of pants, if they're really nice pants or whatever, you might be able to get them for cheaper. And sales abroad are much better than they are here. At least they used to be. I haven't been abroad in a year. I don't know how much has changed, but I know that prices in Israel aren't always justified, and those fast fashion brands are not being fair with their pricing internationally. And the worst part is, although we are paying extra, the money that we pay isn't going to the right people who deserve it, isn't going to the hard workers that are working hard to make our clothes. They're going to people who literally don't need our money first because they've already made tons of it off of other people's hard work. And also, they are going to people that don't see or don't give credit where credit is due. those businesses wouldn't be successful without the people that work so hard in making their clothes. They wouldn't be. And also, let's not talk about the fact that a lot of the times they don't use recycled fashion, like fabric. They don't use like eco-friendly fabric. Maybe their cotton is not even good. I have a video about cotton, I think, and especially cotton, because we all know that cotton is a good fabric to wear. The question is how it was made. And I'm not gonna talk about that too much. I'm not gonna elaborate. But basically, the fabrics that those big fat corporations use aren't ethical. They aren't eco-friendly. They aren't like sturdy enough to last throughout the seasons. What they want you to do, those big corporations, is just to buy, like keep buying things every season. This week's shirt is old news by next Sunday. That's their approach to fashion, and I'm against it. I have clothes that I have worn for years, and I feel like every time I wear them, I look the part, I look beautiful, I feel stylish, and these clothes are old. They are old. And I'm not, according to those fashion stores and fashion companies, I'm not supposed to wear those clothes anymore because they're really, really old. But I do. I don't care. I'm not going to be a victim of fast fashion anymore. I'm not going to spend my money and basically just hand it over to some capitalist that literally doesn't even need it and is keeping it from the people who are in need and who are deserving of it. Come on. The people that make our clothes are the people that really, really work hard. That's not the right brush. And they are actually the people that are paid the least. The people who harvest the fabric, the people who harvest cotton, the people who harvest whatever else, like hemp seeds or whatever. Those are the people that are working really, really hard. Much harder than Zara's CEO, if I'm being honest. I obviously don't know what Zara's CEO is doing, but I bet you he's not in an uncomfortable location trying to water and like plow and all of that in a field under the hot sun, being hungry and being also like a victim of all the chemicals that are used in making fabric and in like farming things like cotton and stuff like that, if that makes sense. I've elaborated too much on this point, I feel, and I should probably move on. What I'm trying to say is that I really want the people who deserve the credit and who deserve the wealth, and I'm using that in brackets because they're never going to be wealthy. But I want all of the resources that I can give, all of the like money that I can spend to go to places that are more appreciative of it. Second point is unethical, and that goes hand in hand. I've talked about fast fashion and how unethical it is, and that's what I want to avoid. Same goes for the next one, not eco-conscious. I buy things without being aware of their ecological implications. I buy first-hand leather. Last year I bought 4 bags, as I said. 2 were second-hand and 2 were like first-hand bags, like bags that I bought from retailers rather than second-hand sellers or consignment stores and stuff like that. So I want to be more eco-conscious. I don't want to buy leather first-hand. I don't want to buy from people who are not aware of their carbon footprint. I want to avoid as much of that as possible. Finally is a very important point that I have become more and more aware of because of Hannah Louise Poston. I love that woman so much. If you don't know who Hannah Louise Poston, which is weird because if you're watching me then you probably know everyone else on this platform because I have the smallest platform in the entire universe. But basically I want fewer but nicer things. I don't want to buy 10 pairs of jeans that basically all look the same on me, more or less. I want to buy, I carry on powdering my face because I'm like talking, but I think I've applied too much powder on. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to spend too much resources on things that I don't need. And by shopping less, I'm able to spend a little bit more on each and every item and really make sure that I'm buying fewer but much nicer things, like nicer and fewer. Fewer is not a disadvantage. Fewer is an advantage. Fewer allows you to have the budget for other things that by buying so much you wouldn't be able to afford. By spending too much money, you are basically shrinking the amount that you can afford to spend on each one of them. And I would rather have a few things that I love than a ton of things that I don't love. Okay, so these are the things that I want to avoid, and there's a long list of things that I want to avoid, but I feel like they're all interlinked and they're all very achievable. Let's talk about my goals. First thing is I want to enjoy what I have. I don't want to forget about what I have, and I want to really enjoy each and every piece in my collection, in my wardrobe. Be it an item of clothing, be it a freaking single eyeshadow, be it a lip gloss, a lipstick, a bag, a pair of shoes. I want to enjoy all of them, I want to use them, and I don't want to have so much that I would forget that I have, I don't know, like a nice pair of blue boots or like high-heeled winter shoes or something. I don't know. That's basically what I don't want to happen and what I want to happen. My goal is for my collection to become so significant that I cannot forget about it, and at the same time so useful and to allow me to use it a lot more often, a lot more frequently. Next is being able to afford a UX course. I'm currently taking a graphic design course, and this is a personal goal. This isn't necessarily like a lifetime goal of mine. This isn't something that will stay in my list of goals for much longer. And technically speaking, I have the money for the course. I'm not here trying to make that money for the course. I have it. I'm currently taking a graphic design course, and shortly after, or maybe even like during that course, I want to also incorporate UX, because that is basically the direction that I want to take when it comes to my career. And by spending a little bit less here and there, I would feel less guilty about spending so much money on UX, and that's what I want to happen. I want to support places I believe in, and that is very similar to what I've already said. I don't believe in Zara and Mango and H&M and whatnot as a reliable, ethical source of fashion. I think that they are very unethical, and I think that they are very unfair, and I don't want to support them. I love Etsy. I love buying from secondhand. I love handmade things, and that is what I want to have more of. And that's what I want to support. I want to change shopping from a habit to a treat. Exactly. Shopping has become this like thing that I do mindlessly. It's like my go-to hobby. And shopping cannot be a hobby. It's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable hobby because I cannot do it all the time. And I can't even like window shop all the time because it's such a waste of my time. Such a waste of my time that I could be doing other things with this time. I could be practicing my graphic design skills. I could be practicing my Photoshop skills. I could be practicing, I don't know, I could even be learning a language. I could be learning Spanish right now and talking to you in Spanish. Am I doing that? No. Why? Because I spend too much time on online browsing, shopping, stores and whatnot. So I want shopping to become a treat. I want it to become a designated treat. I want it not to only be a treat when it comes to like how I spend my money, how I spend my time, but I also want it to become this like opportunity to get something so special rather than just like getting something for the sake of getting something. About a few days ago, I bought something from Etsy. I bought two dresses from Etsy. They are both summer dresses, but I've been wanting them. And I love Etsy. I love. Ooh. This is, by the way, the M Cosmetics blush in the shade Faded Clementine. I'm using it for the first time. I want to build it up. See how blushy I can get. Ooh, so pretty. So what I want to say is that, I mean, it's clashing with my gray like taupey eyeshadow, but I'm not going anywhere. And it's also clashing with my camel shirt. Like the eyeshadows on my camel shirt aren't having a conversation. They're basically staring at each other and wondering why they are in the same frame. Anyways, so I want to treat myself to nicer things, and I want Etsy to become one of the big ones. And let's be real. Things on Etsy are not cheap. I bought two dresses. Each dress was initially $100, and by buying them without the discount, I would have been basically spending about $240 on both of them, including shipping. And that was just like a bit too much, but because of the end of the year and all of the sales, I managed to get both of them for $102, including shipping. And I was like very happy about it. Oh my gosh, this blush, gorgeous. Okay. So yeah, I want to be able to treat myself to these things, and it actually is related to one of my next points, which is to be able to splurge more often. When you buy a lot of things, your budget starts to thin and continue to thin out until it's basically barely anything. And by saving it and spending most of it, if not all of it, on just a few items, you can make those items a lot more special than buying a $20 shirt. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. It's probably a good shirt, it works, but you are going to probably, if you're thinking like me, you're probably going to question where it came from. You're probably going to feel a little bit crappy about like supporting those awful corporations. I'm using the Nabla highlighter, by the way, in Ozone. It's so pretty. I actually reviewed it in the video, which will be linked above. But yeah, I want that to happen. And I want to use things a lot more. I have a lot of basically possessions that I neglect. And I don't want that to happen. I want to use them. I don't want to neglect them. And that's an easy thing, because once you start to buy less and appreciate what you have a little bit more, then I'm sure that it will happen automatically. I will start to use things more and more often. Let's finish up the eyes. I'm going to take the shade Double Type on a like kind of flat brush, but not sharp. It'll be I will be able to basically like blend out the shadow with it. I'm gonna apply that on my lower lash line, on the outer portion of my lower lash line. Last thing I want is to think things through, and it's basically the opposite of mindlessness. I don't want to buy things just because I like them. I want to like the things, and I want to find them special, and I want to find them useful. Being useful is of the essence this year. I want to buy things that make me feel like they're special and make me feel like they're useful. Now, let's move on and talk about what I can buy and what I cannot buy. There are two lists of what I can buy. What I can buy, it's basically a very short list. I can buy second-hand leather goods, be them handbags, leather, belts, shoes, and all of that. I can buy handmade, ethically made clothes. And I want to buy more locally or from small businesses. And when it comes to beauty, I want to buy replacements as they come, as I feel like I start to need them. I don't want to buy a bunch of brow products just because, brow products are important. You always use brow products, or mascaras are important. You always wear mascaras. I don't want to buy backups of those things, and it's one of the points actually for what I cannot buy. And because my hobby this year has become sewing, I don't know if I've mentioned this on my YouTube channel, but I bought a sewing machine, and I'm teaching myself how to sew this year. But I want to also buy fabric once a season and not spend too much money on that. What I want to stop buying is, okay, hold on. So this is a long list, kind of a long list. Okay, first of all, big eyeshadow palettes. I don't like big eyeshadow palettes. This and Bare Necessities are the only big palettes that are in my collection, and I am already starting to find them to be not the best thing to use when you're indecisive. There are way too many eyeshadows for me to choose which ones I want to use on any given day. As I was saying, no eyeshadow palettes, and I define eyeshadow palettes by 10 eyeshadows plus. So if it's a 9 shadow palette, it's okay. I would rather buy quads, quints, maybe 6 pens. That's okay. But anything more than that, I'm gonna have to think about it. And if it's over 10, it's not gonna happen this year. I don't want to buy foundations before I use up what I already have. Even if there's something that is calling for me to try it, even if there's this foundation that in theory sounds absolutely perfect for me, I'm not trying any before I finish up at least one from what I have. And right now I'm working on the Too Faced foundation, which I am wearing right now. I don't like it. But there's absolutely no way I'm going to be throwing it out, and also no way I'm going to be giving it to someone, because I have given up so much. I have given people too much stuff without really forcing myself to try to use them. This is the one thing that I'm going to make myself use. So no foundations. No backup brow mascaras. These are two of the categories that I buy from without considering how much I have, simply because I know that I use them. I use mascaras every time I wear makeup. I use a brow product every time I wear makeup. And I don't need to use and continue to buy a lot of each product. I should have one brow pencil, one brow gel, one mascara at a time rather than 5 mascaras or so. No, actually I have 3 mascaras, I counted them. I don't want to have 3 mascaras at a time. I don't want to have 2 brow pencils, actually 3 because one is a backup. I'd rather have one, and when I need to buy another one, I can go and buy another one. I don't need to panic because I only have one brow pencil. One brow pencil is fine. I don't need to buy several mascaras simply because I want to find the best one. What I already have is good enough. If it's working, then it's okay. If it's not working, it's a different story, kind of, but I should try to make it work. But it shouldn't be an excuse for me to go and buy a ton of a certain item. Okay, I don't want crazy colorful eyeshadows. What ended up happening really is that the majority of the eyeshadows that I gave away were blue, purple, green, red, pink, and eyeshadows that I don't ever use. I know that my style of makeup is not colorful, I know that, but I keep telling myself that I'm someone that loves to experiment with makeup. I do love to experiment with makeup, but within a certain frame of identity, if that makes any sense. Next is face powders. I have way too many. No face powders at all this year, because even if I use them all up, it's not gonna happen this year. I have like 5 pressed face powders and 2 loose powders. Yeah, I don't need any more. And if I miraculously run out of all face powder, I can buy one. I don't have to buy a gazillion. I don't. Okay, brushes, sponges, and tools. I have too many brushes, too many tools, and I don't want to buy like sponges at all. By the way, this is the M Cosmetics. Is it called Infinity Cloud something lip product, or am I delusional? It'll be written right here. Whatever this product is, in the shade Faded Clementine. I actually remember that. I didn't see it. Let's apply it first and then we can continue chatting. Oh God. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I have actually worn this once. Unlike the blush that I haven't worn ever. I have worn this one time. And I found it decent. It wasn't my favorite lip product of all time, but it was one of my favorite colors of all time. I have an orange lipstick, but it looks like a neon orange lipstick. It doesn't look elegant. So as I said, I don't want any brushes. I don't want any warm toned neutral palettes because I have way too many of those. I don't want any nude lip liners or nude lipsticks because I need to work in the direction of finishing things up rather than just compiling more and more things. I don't want any more eyeshadow primers. I have 2. This year I bought one, although I knew that I already had one, and eyeshadow primers take forever to be done with, to use up. I don't want any clear glosses with gold sparkles. I've already said that. I used to have 6 of these, and they're my favorite type of glosses, and I acknowledge that. But the fact that this is my favorite type only means that if I have 6 of them, I won't be using them as much as I could potentially be using them because they're my favorite. I don't want any face palettes. And I don't know if I've said this already, but I don't want first-hand leather goods. I don't want that. I acknowledge the fact that I like a good leather bag, belt, and shoe. And I know that that is the worst thing that I could be saying right now because I've been talking about ethical, eco-friendly, and all of that. And the only way that I can still enjoy those things is by buying them secondhand. I feel like that is the best way that I can still indulge in what I think I like and what I know is not great for the world, but doing it in the least harmful way possible. So yeah, this is the no buy year explained, but I haven't told you about my budget yet. I'm gonna have a seasonal budget. Each month, each season, I have $300 to spend on clothes, $300 to spend on makeup for the purpose of reviewing things on YouTube, not because I need anything. There will be a video about the brands that I'm going to be probably testing out or trying in 2021 very soon, and that is why there is a makeup budget. Ideally, if I didn't want to make YouTube videos, I wouldn't be buying makeup this year, honestly. But because I want to continue to enjoy wearing makeup, I want to continue to enjoy making this not feel like a chore, but continue to feel kind of like a hobby, this is the best way that I can continue to do that. And each season, I'm allowing myself one secondhand bag and one secondhand accessory. It could be a shoe, it could be a belt, it could be a pair of sunglasses, it could be anything like that, anything that I would consider an accessory and not a piece of clothing. I don't want to buy I don't know, like I don't like secondhand clothes as much as I like handmade clothes, especially because they're gonna end up being either from like Zara, H&M and all of that, and that's not gonna make me feel special. And even if it's like from, I don't know, like Yves Saint Laurent, I'm still not gonna feel special. I'm gonna feel like I'm trying to force this fancy lifestyle on myself when I don't believe in designer clothes. I believe in designer accessories. I don't believe in designer clothes. That's not a discussion thing. That's not a point to be discussed. That's just my opinion, really. So yeah, I haven't really set out a budget for my secondhand bag and my secondhand belt, but it's going to be reasonable because I have a UX course that I want to take this year, and I don't want to be spending too much money on that. I don't plan on any of my luxurious pieces to exceed, I'm not going to say how much because I don't want that to either insult anyone or be perceived as ridiculous, because that's how much I think luxury is worth or something like that. I'm not going to say how much I think is appropriate for me to spend on luxury goods, secondhand luxury goods. I'm just going to say that I have decided to buy 2 luxury goods a season, a bag and an accessory, and I will be discussing their price as the time comes, as I decide to buy them when it's appropriate. But yeah, that is all for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I know that this was a long one, and I'm really hoping that you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. If you are in a no buy, low buy situation and you want to share some of your like rules, some of your goals, some of your to avoid reasons, then please do so. You can share them in the comments bar down below. Other than that, I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. There will be 2 videos right now on this side of the screen that you can watch if you're not over seeing me on your screen as of yet. So yeah, thanks so much, and we'll reconvene very soon. Bye.